Listen to Downtown Hot Radio on the air 24 hours a day and 7 days a week.
You're now tuned into the Real Rap Radio Show. I'm your host, Walil Archer. On Downtown Hot Radio, I have my special guest. I have author Patricia Punch Barrett. How are you today?
Good. Thank you, Walil.
So excited to have you today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
So tell us, where are you tuning in from?
Henderson, Nevada.
Henderson, Nevada.
Yeah.
How do it feel being an author?
Well, it feels fabulous. I've always been interested in writing, and I've sort of always had a facility with words, and I just had never focused enough to write something that might be published. And then COVID came. Everybody was doing something during my I thought, well, I'm kind of out of excuses. If I'm not going to do it now, when am I? So once I started, it was fun, fascinating. Of course, I had some stumbling blocks along the way, but eventually it came to fruition. And even after I completed it, I thought, well, I just checked one off of my bucket list, but I didn't have the courage to submit it for publication. And then I thought, well, why not? And so I found out very quickly that there aren't too many publishers that will even look at an unsolicited manuscript. So I just took a chance, got it out there, and they had said it'll be about 3 weeks before you hear anything from us. But in fact, 36 hours later, I'm checking my email at 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. and there was something from the publisher. And I thought, oh, my first rejection, So I about fell over when they said that they wanted to get it in front of a board of editors and to be patient. And then about 4 months later, so I won't hear anything. But in fact, it came to pass. So it's been a novel experience for me, pardon the pun, because I've never done anything like this before. So I'm enormously pleased.
That's a great journey, because sometimes people want stuff overnight. So just sharing your process, that's a great journey.
Yeah. So my friends and I, we formed a little book club. Well, it's sort of a book club. They're very supportive. My roommate, Paula Richter, and this other friend, Sherry. And we like to talk about books. We all love to read. So it is a book club of sorts, but it's just a very small one. And then we go out and enjoy the wonderful things that Las Vegas and Henderson have to offer. And right now, everything's being oriented toward the Formula One race that'll take place here in another couple of weeks. And so they're building the grandstands. And at this point, we won't be going down to the Strip for our book club meeting. And then we checked at South Point today because we wanted to go out and have dinner at this wonderful restaurant, Michael's. But I think they're booked with the rodeo. So the International Rodeo is going on at the same time. So we'll just be going locally where there's many fine restaurants and enjoying an evening in Henderson.
Nice. Then let the listeners know the title of your book.
Okay, it's the Pantera Chronicles, and it's about a circus family that originated in Australia via a little alien landing. But anyway, they settled in on a vast sheep station in outback Australia, and then they had a traveling circus that went to the Americas and Europe and everything. And then the idea of circus animal acts fell out of favor. So they went into other lines of business. And eventually they migrated to Las Vegas because of some mutant koalas that they found in an opal mine on their outback ranch. So it's a sheep station. So anyway, I don't want to spoiler alerts, but they start experiencing paranormal adventures, and they have a rancho, the Pantera Star Rancho in Las Vegas, Henderson, that was the result of a card game gone sideways. And it was won by a ringmaster who needed a place for the retired show animals. And on the property, there's an old hotel, the Mobstar Grand Marquis Hotel and Resort. And the Supertramps like to go into the hotel and explore. And so all kinds of adventures emanate from the Mobstar Grand Marquis Hotel and Resort. And this is where they begin to discover their superpowers and those of their mutant koalas. So it's a fun adventure, but it also touches on global warming and why there are the wild bushfires that brought them here in the first place, for protection, because they were discovered hiding in an opal mine during a raging bushfire. So,
okay. And can you share your journey about teaching high school in Australia?
Well, I actually taught sixth grade,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I still keep up with one of my former students, and
Oh, wow.
she was an excellent student. She wound up in the Australian police and in the embassies and things like this. And she comes to Las Vegas about once a year with her husband, who's a basketball coach, and I shouldn't be sharing these details, but he's with the Chicago Bulls, and so they come about once a year. We have a great time getting together. She's retired from the Australian police now, and one of these days I'll go visit her in Chicago. She loves to have people come and visit. Mm-hmm.
It is climate changes brings warm temperatures
Mm-hmm.
to the region.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the
Well, while you're locating whatever it is you're looking at, we've had more consecutive days of triple digit temperatures than we've ever had before. And the last 10 years have been the hottest years on record, for Henderson, Las Vegas, and probably many other parts of the planet. And these climate change scientists are expecting that sometime between 2026 and 2042, that we're going to cross that threshold, the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold, which you kind of have to double it for Fahrenheit. And that's when we're going to see more repercussions from these wild windstorms and the temperature escalating and the polar regions melting and setting off all kinds of weather events. So that's what they're expecting. But what people don't realize is that it's not just altering the climate and the sea levels and coastal flooding in some areas, but there's ocean acidification. And that leads to unstable ecosystems, both on terrestrial land ecosystems, ocean ecosystems, and freshwater ecosystems. And so with ocean acidification and these climate change alterations, it makes it really difficult for plants and animals to adapt. So there's a loss of biodiversity. And the changes in the ocean chemistry, we can't see them, but they've been measuring this stuff for about the last 200 years, the surface ocean waters and the pH balance. And at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution till now, we've only lost a tenth of a pH unit. Doesn't sound like very much, but it represents about a 30% increase in acidity of the ocean. And this is impacting shellfish, corals, these little sea snails, pteropods. And they're like the size of a pea, and whales, they're like tapioca pudding, But it's affecting shellfish, corals, pteropods, and anything that has a skeleton, because when the carbon dioxide is absorbed by the ocean, and the ocean absorbs about 30% of the carbon dioxide that's in the atmosphere. Okay, so the carbon dioxide is absorbed by the ocean. And when it is, it creates a concentration of hydrogen ions. And so then the hydrogen ions, they bond with carbonate ions. And this reduces the amount of carbonate that's in the ocean that's needed by these calcifying organisms like the shellfish, the pteropods, anything with a skeleton. They don't have as many carbonate ions to build their shell structures. So that means that there's more problems for shellfish, pteropods, all the rest of it. And at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's studies and everything, they had an intern that did an experiment, and they projected out what the pH of the ocean would be and the carbonate levels in the year 2100 based on what they're seeing now. And then they put the pteropods, the little pea-sized shellfish, they put them in this simulation. And after 45 days, their shells started dissolving, So there's some real serious consequences of global warming that are virtually unseen. And it's affecting the coral reefs, like the Great Coral Reefs around the globe, shellfish, all of it is being impacted and affected by global warming. And, it's kind of it's a whale of a problem for the marine food web,
Right.
Because, so it's concerning. And I think that, we don't want to see the worst of climate change for the children, the grandchildren of the people that are going to be studying these things, finding solutions. I know they're out there. I have every confidence that there are going to be solutions, and the young people of today are going to find them. So I'm very hopeful, but I doubt there are very many people left that dispute or deny that climate change is here, because everybody is suffering, and it doesn't matter whether where you are on the continuum. Some people are like, bah, humbug, and other people are like, this is an imminent disaster. But I think we all, at a minimum, need to be concerned and caring and responsible for the environment, and do our very best to protect ecosystems all around the globe, and the precious animals that are suffering, and their water holes dry up, and they have to change their pattern of migration and head for the poles,
Mm-hmm. Now, what inspired you to focus on climate change?
Well, actually, my first awareness came from an article I read in Newsweek magazine. This was decades ago. And it talked about global warming. I thought this was hugely important. I was concerned. And so when I moved to Alaska, I designed a series of T-shirts because I just love koalas. And a couple of the T-shirts focused on climate change. And actually, they were doing quite well in a local mall up there in Anchorage, Alaska. And then my supplier, um, his business folded and he left. So I kind of just left it for the time being. But I was really kind of shocked and amazed that something that I was concerned about decades ago has become mainstream news, and it is important, and people are sounding the alarm. So I thought, well, maybe I can reach more people if I wrote a book. And I do have my T-shirts designs, and I updated them because they have so many cool tools with illustration online. There's so much happening out there, and there's so much talent out there. They did some trailers for my book, and I was so thrilled and excited. I mean, there's just some incredibly creative, talented people. I was really thrilled.
I would love to see it when they finish.
Yeah.
Now in Alaska, is it really true they say 6 months it stay light and then 6 months it stay dark?
Oh, yeah. In fact, during the summer, you could go downtown and look at the beautiful flowers that get virtually 22 hours of sunlight a day. And they're just begonias and fuchsias. They're everywhere. It's like a bloom dream. And then you go into something like a nightclub and your eyes adjust and you're there for a couple of hours. And then when you walk out of the darkness, it's just like it's an assault on your eyeballs. It's like, it's weird. But equally, you can go down to the river and go fishing. You can get off work, you can go fishing, fish from 8 until midnight or whatever's your pleasure, and then go to work the next day. And I know it's really wild.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, they have these fold up fishing rods in their suit pocket. And it's the first chance they get forever. Yeah.
Now, how long did it take you to write your book?
Um, I had about 75% of it written after a couple of months. And I kind of got hung up. I wanted a dramatic ending, something fun. And finally, it came to me after I watched the news about the Burning Man festival, which I knew about because I had some Burning Man hats. And I'm reading about, I thought, wow, that's it. So I created a video game that it's not. There is no video game for Burning Man. It's decidedly non-commercial. But I borrowed elements of this festival and other festivals that take place here in Las Vegas and incorporated that with a fictitious and imaginary video game. And that then became the catalyst for the rest of the story.
Nice, nice, nice. Now, what do you want the readers to take away from reading your book?
Well, I just hope that they enjoy the adventures and appreciate that, a small effort was made to recognize and address climate change. And I already have plans for a sequel. It doesn't, and it'll have more to do with the concerns that I spoke of earlier about ocean acidification, but it's all wrapped up in a fun adventure. And I just encourage the readers to enjoy the book and look for the next one. And I'm already having so much fun with it, with the characters and the development of the story, which I don't want to give it away. There's something that happened recently that figures in not in a major way, but they dropped the Trop a few weeks ago. They imploded the Tropicana for this ballpark that they're building. So, there's a lot that goes on, and everything in Las Vegas gets celebrated and commemorated. Like when they dropped the Trop, all the hotels were filled. People came from all over just to watch the Trop go down. It's amazing. And anyway, it'll be in the next book.
Awesome. And as we close out, where can they purchase your book at online?
Okay, it's available through Atticus Publishers and Kindle Direct, and I think it can still be purchased on
Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Any final thoughts or closing remarks?
Well, just that it's been such a pleasure meeting you, and I thoroughly enjoyed my session with you, and I hope everybody can come to Las Vegas soon and enjoy some of what's available to me on a regular basis.
Sounds good. I'd like to thank you so much for doing the interview today.
Thank you, Walil. It's
My
been
pleasure. Thank
Okay.
you. So that's my time today on the Real Rap Radio Show. And I'll see you guys next time on the Real Rap Radio Show with Walil Archer. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Listen to Downtown Hot Radio on the air 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Tune in by downloading the Downtown Hot Radio's mobile app. Listen on our website, www.downtownhotradio.com.